Hey girl, welcome back to the channel. Well, hey girl and hey boy, because this video is for everybody. Today, I'm finally gonna be telling y'all and showing y'all exactly how I make my digital vision board. First off, I make a lot of content on personal development, self-development. So if you want to become your best self, your most authentic self, your highest self, if you want to become your dream version of yourself, make sure you hit subscribe. Whenever I talk about changing your life and just becoming your dream self, your best self, goal setting and accomplishing your goals, I always talk about vision boards. And I, to my knowledge, don't do my vision board the traditional way. And I have also figured out how to make a vision board that actually works. I titled this video the way I did for a reason. I know a lot of people have made vision boards in the past and they probably just gave up on them because they felt like it just didn't work. And if it's not working, it's probably because you're doing it all wrong. So later on in the video, I'm gonna show y'all exactly how I make the vision board. You're gonna need two apps. One is Canva and one is Pinterest. So go ahead and download those. That way when we get to it, y'all ready. So before we get into actually making the vision board, I'm gonna just talk a little bit about it. This is the part that makes all the difference. I talk about vision boards so much on my channel because they have really made a big difference in my life and how much I've accomplished over the last few years. I realized that I'm actually getting stuff done now. So years ago, whenever I would get invited to vision board parties, because that was really the only time I made them, I would just sit at the table, flip through the magazines that they had on the table, and just let stuff jump off the page at me. I didn't go into it with clear intentions about what I wanted to accomplish that year. And that's a mistake a lot of people make. A lot of people just look through magazines, look through Pinterest even, and just scroll, and as they scroll they say to themselves, oh, that looks nice, I'm gonna put that on my vision board. And they fill up the board with all these pretty pictures of things that just look nice, and then by December 31st they're looking at the vision board like, I didn't accomplish any of this stuff. So a few years ago, I challenged myself to sit down and really think about what I wanted my life to look like. Not necessarily that year, because I was not doing this step to make a vision board. This is something I just wanted to do just because I felt like I needed to. I needed to sit down and remove all limitations, get rid of all of my limiting beliefs, and write out what I wanted. I wrote down the career I wanted to have, the type of relationship I wanted to be in, the type of husband I wanted to have, how I wanted to dress on a daily basis, what type of personality I wanted to have. I was very, very specific. I wrote out how I wanted my dream house to look, like different things I wanted inside of my dream house. And when I did that and wrote out all the reasons why I felt like I couldn't possibly have those things, like I really wrote down all of the limiting beliefs I could think of, I started to really convince myself that I could have those things. A lot of the time we don't strive for things because we feel like we can't have them. We feel like we don't deserve them. We feel like it'll just never happen. And then we convince ourselves that we don't really want those things that we said we wanted. And it's not that you don't want it, it's that you've convinced yourself that you can't have it. So it's kind of like you're self-sabotaging just so that you don't get disappointed. And when you don't believe that you can have something, you don't work towards it. So first, I want to challenge y'all to sit down, write out what you want your life to look like. Like I said, be very specific. Like if there were no limitations, what would your life look like? Don't put a time frame on it just yet. Like don't worry about whether or not you can accomplish those things in a year or 2 years or 5 years. Just think about what your dream life looks like, what your dream self looks like, how she acts, how she talks, who she hangs around, who she dates. Convince yourself that you are worthy of what you say you want. Convince yourself that you can actually accomplish this stuff. Even if it doesn't happen in the next year, like I said, you can accomplish it. Next, this step might not be necessary for every single goal you have written down, but I'm pretty sure it's necessary for most of the things you have written down. Let's say you want to be debt-free. You need to figure out what debt-free looks like for you. What debt do you have now that you need to tackle? I say this all the time, but you have to start with the end goal. Break that big goal down into smaller ones and work backwards. Like you have to break it down, figure out what you need to do to get to each one of those smaller goals, and then start. A lot of people are just starting, or they have a big goal in mind and they're not breaking it down, so they don't even know what avenues they need to take to get there. Knowing you want to take a road trip from Baltimore to Los Angeles is nice, but how nice is it if you don't know how to get there? You just gonna be driving. And that's what a lot of people are doing, just driving through life, cruising through life with no intention, no direction. You need direction and you need to be intentional. One of the goals I set last year for like the next few years is to become debt free. I didn't put the pressure on myself to get it all done in 1 year, but I did want to get most of it done in 2024. So I had to break that down because honestly, I knew I had debt, but I didn't know exactly what I needed to do to get rid of all of it. So that took a little bit of research, took me asking a couple people some questions, and I figured out what my roadmap needed to look like. If you have not seen my financial glow up video, please go watch that because that will help you a whole lot if you're trying to tackle debt and just become more financially responsible. And again, this is just goal setting in general. We're not even talking about your vision board just yet. This is a step that you need to do, period. If you want to buy a house in the next few years or so, figure out what you need to do to buy that house. If you have a dream car in mind, do you even know how much that car costs? It might be a little closer than you think it is. Some stuff seems so far out of our reach because we don't know what it takes to get there. Ever since I started breaking down my goals, this is called the compound effect, by the way. Ever since I started doing this, I've realized that I really count myself out a lot unnecessarily because a lot of the things I want to accomplish are not as hard as I once thought they were. All it takes is a little bit of research. Ask a couple people some questions. This is also probably the perfect time for me to mention the have, do, be mentality that a lot of people have. No, I did not make this up. If you're not new to my channel, you've already heard it. But again, we're making videos for new eyes. There are people watching this who have not seen my videos, so I gotta say it. People with the have, do, be mindset feel like they have to have a certain amount of money, drive a certain car, live in a certain type of house in order to do the things they want to do and ultimately become the person they want to be. And like I told y'all in the beginning, we're all about working backwards here. You don't have to start with the things. Becoming the person you want to be, becoming the person who has those things will get you those things. Once you really embody that person and become that person, you'll be able to do the things that person does and ultimately have the things that person has. So not only should you be focusing on actual tangible goals, you need to be figuring out who you want to be in this step. Because a lot of those big goals you have require you to change things about yourself. You want to be a business owner. What do business owners do throughout the day? You want to start a YouTube channel. What do influencers and content creators do throughout the day? How do they structure their week? What type of habits do you need to have? What kind of routines do you need to create? What kind of personality traits do you need to have to accomplish the things you want to accomplish? A lot of y'all are lacking discipline. I mean, I'm not just saying y'all because I was talking to myself at one point. You might be lacking structure. You might need some routine. You might be dating the wrong people. You might be friends with the wrong people. Do you need to start waking up earlier? Do you need to start going to the gym? Do you spend too much time on social media? Like all of this stuff matters. Do you need to stop smoking? Do you need to stop drinking so much? This is why I say you have to be specific because all of this stuff goes together. They all go hand in hand. My boyfriend read the book Atomic Habits. He was giving me a lot of insight on what he was reading. And one thing that really stood out to me was he said that sometimes all it takes is making little small tweaks in your day-to-day activities for you to get closer to your goals. Like we look at all these big things, all these big goals, all these shiny tangible things, but are you disciplined enough to get there? I have plenty of videos on micro habits, so feel free to watch any of those. I'll link them down below as well, but the micro habits matter. All right, now moving on from that. Now that you figured out what you want your life to look like, now that you've gotten rid of your limiting beliefs and you've broken down your big goals into smaller ones, it's time to figure out what you can tackle this year. It doesn't even have to be this year. Like your vision board doesn't have to be for the whole 2024 or 2025 or whatever year y'all are watching this. You can have a vision board for 5 years. Like it can be your 5-year plan. The one I'm going to make today for y'all is actually going to be for the remainder of 2024. So the last 5-ish months, because I think we have 5 months at this point. Oh God, we got 4 months. Lord, all right, whatever. I'm gonna just do it for the next 4 months because there are some things that I definitely want to accomplish before this year is over. So figure out what you really want to focus on this year. Now, when you do this step, don't feel like you have to reach the destination by the end of whatever time frame you're giving yourself. For example, my vision boards are usually for the year. There are some things that are on my 2024 vision board that were also on my 2023 vision board, and that's okay. And the only reason why I say it's okay is because I have been actively working on those things. It's just been taking me longer than I thought. And for me, I'm not always focused on a timeline as long as I know I'm putting in the work. Like sometimes I'll have an idea in mind of how long I want something to take me, but if it takes me a little bit longer, I don't get mad at myself. The only way I get mad at myself is if I'm not really putting my best foot forward to get it done. For example, I had the 100K subscriber plaque on my 2023 vision board. I didn't accomplish it then. I think by the end of 2023, I had like 45,000 subscribers. And to me, that was good. I really didn't expect to hit 100K in that short amount of time. But I knew seeing that plaque was gonna make me go hard to get a whole lot closer than I was in January of 2023. So again, I carry some things over. Cool. The key is to just put things on your vision board that you are going to actively work on. Things that you're going to focus on for the year. So maybe it should be called like a focus board. What are you focusing on? What are some things you definitely want to start tackling this year? I'm looking at mine right now on my phone. I keep it as my lock screen for the whole year. So I'm gonna share with y'all some of my focuses for 2024. I have the 100K subscriber plaque, a whole bunch of money because I wanted to make way more money this year than ever before. I have 2 different pictures of some gym girlies who have the body type that I'm striving for. I have a quote that says, "You owe it to yourself to become your dreams," because I'm really focusing on becoming my dream self and my best self and really knocking down stuff on that list that I created. I have a planner on there because I really wanted to be intentional about planning and creating structure and creating routines for myself because I knew that those were things I needed in order to accomplish all of my bigger goals. I have a picture of some meal prep because I wanted to focus on meal prepping this year. I have a photo of a girl and her son, I'm assuming that's what it looks like to me, and I wanted to get out more this year with Jax, really give him more experiences. There's a quote on here about tithing. You can read that in your own time. And then lastly, there's a girl on there, she's sipping some champagne and she just looks really put together. And if you're not new to my channel, you know that I have been focusing on putting more effort into my look on a daily basis and working on my femininity and my feminine energy. So I wanted to share what my vision board looks like so that y'all can get an idea of like the type of stuff you can really focus on in a year, 5 years, whatever. So once you figure out what you want, you're gonna go on Pinterest and you're gonna look for some photos that represent all of those things. And this is the start of being intentional. Like I said in the beginning, when you sit down and just look through magazines or look through Pinterest and let stuff just jump out at you, you're kind of letting the book or Pinterest tell you what you should probably have, or oh, you might like this, maybe you should go for this. You might be letting pop culture influence you, social media, but it's not about that. What do you want? You shouldn't be so easily influenced that you create a list and then you look through Pinterest and you see some things that you all of a sudden want. No, you clearly don't want those things because you didn't write that down in the beginning. Look through Pinterest, find some really nice pictures of the things you say you want. Sometimes I go as far as changing the name on stuff. When I created my 2023 vision board, I had a screenshot from Google Images of the email you get when you've reached the requirements to become a YouTube partner, which is basically when you get monetized on YouTube. I found the exact email they sent someone else and I blanked out that person's name and put trending topic right there. This is on my lock screen, so I'm looking at it every single day. I'm literally seeing myself in that email. It works, I'm telling you. Now that we have all of our photos, I'm gonna do a screen recording and I'll put it right here. Okay, first, I forgot to mention this. You don't have to just use pictures from Pinterest. You can use photos that are already in your phone. You can use screenshots of people on Instagram or like pictures on Instagram that you find. I have a few Instagram like influencers who I'm putting on my board. I have a photo of Fit with M from Instagram. She also has TikTok and YouTube, but she's a fitness influencer pretty much. I love her body type. Like I like the way she's built her body and that's kind of the same look I'm going for. I do a lot of her workouts as well, so she's like a big gym girly inspo for me. Then I also have a photo of something that says 100% debt free. I have a picture of some water because y'all know I'm trying to focus more on drinking water this year. I have a picture of Sephora Squad because if you know, you know, I just applied to Sephora Squad last week and y'all been really coming through with the testimonial. So thank you to everyone who left a testimonial. If you haven't done it, you can still do it until September 4th. The link is in my description. That's one of my biggest goals right now. Like that's literally my main focus at the moment. Planner and to-do list and stuff because I'm working on more structure and more routine in my life. My dream car. This is a photo of Oh Hey K from Instagram. She also has YouTube too. I'll link her down below. but she is one of my biggest inspirations at the moment. She's a fashion girly, a fashion influencer, style influencer, whatever you want to call it. And then of course my 100K subscriber plaque that I should be getting very soon. I saved all those photos to an album in my phone. I just titled it Vision Board. That way it's easy for me to access them when I go into Canva. Okay, and now for the fun part. We're gonna go into Canva. I like to start with the template because you can build on top of a template if you really want to, but this just gives you like a nice little foundation, and sometimes you can really just stick to the template without adding anything on top. You can type in vision board to find some vision board templates if you'd like, but I'm going to type in iPhone wallpaper just because I want it to be the right size for my lock screen, because that's where I like to put mine. The iPhone wallpaper collage actually is what I was supposed to put. So I'm going to scroll until I find something that looks similar to what I have in mind. So I chose this one, and basically what I'm going to do is replace all the photos that are already on there with the photos that I have. You can move them around if you want. Add on top, like I said, you can delete some pictures if it doesn't work for you. All right, I'm gonna change this picture to the 100K plaque. I'm gonna change this one to the gym picture. I'm gonna put the tithing quote there, and I'm gonna just move that up some so it can show the part I want it to show. What does this make today epic? I'm moving all that because why would y'all do that? See, like you can just delete stuff that you don't care to have on there. Yeah, so you just keep doing all that until you get it to look the way you want. Okay, so for this part in particular, I want to remove the background on this. I can only do this because I have Canva Pro. If you don't have Canva Pro, you're not gonna be able to do it. So you're gonna click the FX button at the bottom, BG remover, which is background remover, and oh no, wait, hold on, pause. I have to lock this layer real quick, because if I don't lock it, it's going to make Sephora Squad go into that frame. Because basically what they do with these templates is they make frames and then they put pictures in them. So because I locked it, it didn't make the Sephora Squad thing go into the frame. It just allowed me to put it on top of that. Okay, so once you're done, you're just gonna hit the, I believe it was 3 buttons at the top. Sorry, I already stopped screen recording, but you're gonna hit that, and then you're gonna hit download, and you should be able to make that your lock screen. I actually think I'm gonna keep this. I like this. I hope this was helpful. It's really not hard to make the actual vision board, but I wanted to create this video just so that I could explain to y'all how the process goes in order for you to make one that actually works and makes a difference. Like I said, I've accomplished so much over the last 2 years that I've been doing my vision board like this, and I truly believe it has a lot to do with the fact that I changed the way I do it, and also the fact that I have it as my lock screen on my phone, so I see it all the time. I'm on my phone all the time, so I'm constantly being reminded of what I said I wanted last year or the year before that. Vision boards really do work when you do it right. So I hope this helped y'all out. I hope this helps you to accomplish all the things you want to accomplish, and I also hope I motivated you and inspired you to really think big, think bigger when it comes to your dreams and what you want your life to look like. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.